Hello. What is up, my weirdos? I don't know if you saw that first part of me turning the camera off and back on. Unclear. I never know in YouTube streaming. But I'm happy to be here. I am so excited to talk about Little Shop of Horrors. I watched it yesterday, which was a rewatch for me, but not since I was like a kid. And then I also watched the alternate ending today. It just brought so many dreams come true. It was just so exciting. So first of all, let's say hey to people. What's up? We got David, we got Mock, we got Sarah, we got Stacy, we got Anthropomantic Fiend, we got Batman, we got Ann Swish, Larry, Ben. Guys, you killing it. You killing it. You're always still more on time than me. I'm always a solid 2 minutes late. um, let's see. Yeah. Danielle. Yes, I'm so glad that you are here. We met on Instagram today. So we have a new friend here. So this is awesome. Ben says Danny, so I'll say Danny too. Hi, Danny. Okay, I'm so glad that you are here. This is so truly exciting. Okay, horror musicals. I already talked about this in my horror movie trailer, but I freaking love them. I grew up doing musical theater, and so to do a month of horror musicals has been very thrilling for me. If you didn't see, so at the end of last week, I sort of like had a meltdown not being able to decide. So obviously you guys vote on the month, but I was like, I want to like add other stuff in here. So the final decisions were made. I don't know if you guys, if you're on my email list, you got the email on, I can't remember what day, Friday or Saturday. But basically today, obviously Little Shop of Horrors. Next week we are doing, sorry, I literally just forgot. Rebo the Genetic Opera, which is very exciting. And then the last week of May, we're doing Sweeney Todd and Cannibal the Musical. So I only added in one extra. Cannibal the Musical is from the guys that, I think it's from the South Park guys before they did South Park. So I'm so excited to just see how funny it is, how bloody it is. Literally, I have no idea how janky it is. But someone suggested we pair those two up last week because they're both about cannibals. So I think that's exciting. If the Romantic Fiend said you got to add for the new Twilight Zone. Yes, it's coming in. I think it says like June 2nd or June something. I haven't looked into it yet. I was a little, I don't know. I was a little unimpressed with the new Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone, because it's not. I mean, it is Jordan Peele's. He was a producer on it, but I don't know. It didn't really have like his like stamp on them that I expected. It just wasn't what I was looking for in a Twilight Zone series. So, but hopefully season 2 will be better. Maybe they learned some things. I don't know. If you guys liked the first Twilight Zone, or not the first one, but the most recent Twilight Zone season, let me know what you thought of it. But yes, okay. So also, how are you guys? Have you had an okay week? Is everything okay? I've had a pretty good week. Yesterday I had a little hiccup. I got like kind of sick. Not in a corona related way, just in like I had a tummy ache all day, which was a bummer. But other than that, I've been really good. Today I went for a bike ride. I try getting outside a little bit where I can, where I don't feel it's a bad idea. But that was all good. And now I'm here drinking my classic White Claw and feeling great. Yeah. Okay. So I think I like to stall for a couple minutes. But I think we can go ahead and get into it. So, Little Shop of Horrors. Okay, so first of all, it's a horror comedy rock musical, which are like all my favorite things, right? Like it's just so exciting. It is based off of the 1960 film Little Shop of Horrors, which also stars Jack Nicholson. Did you know that? Because I did not know that until I watched it. When did I watch that? That was maybe like 6 months ago or so. Something like that. But that movie is also great. If you guys haven't seen the original Little Shop of Horrors, I would recommend it. It's definitely not as fantastical as the musical, but it is really great. And has a really excellent cast. So that is cool. Okay, and then so the musical premiered off Broadway in 1986, and it was the music is by Alan Menken, who I know some more of his work, but the and lyrics in the book are by Howard Ashman. So hold on, I want to say the rest of so Alan Menken has done a lot of scores for various like Disney movies, such as Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Pocahontas. He's a very big deal. Um, and he's also done things for so obviously Little Shop of Horrors, Newsies. He also worked on more recently Tangled. So just king of feel good music. um, and I will say the music for me is something that I think stands out so much in this movie. Like these are songs that totally get stuck in your head. Some of you already said in the chat that you've like been listening to the soundtrack. Some of you on Twitter today. I'm pretty sure that was Sarah, right? I'm pretty sure that was you. Oh no, well Ange Wish posted that you were listening to Dentist on here. I just love that. When you guys like let me know that you're like actually really into this week's movie, I get so stoked. I'm just like, oh, I'm like freaking thrilled. Okay. So music is iconic. So it premiered off Broadway. Where'd you go? Okay, 1982. And then it basically ran off Broadway for like 5 years, which is like really crazy. And then it eventually like toured the U.S. It had a Broadway production. It's been across community theaters. There was a community theater production of it in my town. I wasn't actually in it, but I went to see it and I loved it. And then 1986, so that happened over many period of years, but 1986, which is actually pretty close to the original off-Broadway run, if you like think about how long it takes to like make a movie, I think it's kind of impressive. 1986, the movie came out and it was directed by Frank Oz. And Frank Oz is sort of like a master of all trades in terms of like film. He's an actor, he's a puppeteer, he's a director, he's a producer, he's done so many things. But he was mostly at first known for his puppeteering work. He's done a lot of Muppet characters like Miss Piggy. He also did Yoda in Star Wars. He's like a big freaking deal in terms of the puppetry world, which I think is expressed very well in this movie, and I'm excited to talk about the puppetry a little bit later on. And he also has directed, he's also been an actor in a lot of things. I'm not even going to go into that, but he's acted in a lot of films. And in terms of a director, he's done some other musicals. I think Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Actually, I don't know if the movie is a musical. There is a stage musical. I've never seen that, so I actually don't know. But he's done a lot of comedies, and he also, a random credit I found on his IMDb when I was looking stuff up today was Indian in the Cupboard. Has anyone ever seen that movie? That is like a VHS that I had in that was a VHS I had in my childhood. I remember it came with a little key, and it's a story of like this kid that has this like little like Native American character that comes alive, and it's amazing. It's this amazing movie. I love it so much. So if anyone is interested in kids movies, that's a really good one. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just reading your chat. Also, hello, Slasher, yes. What's going on? How you doing? Did I miss anyone else? I hope I didn't. If I did, I'm so sorry. Okay, so Frank Oz, I mean, just an incredible dude. I can't believe, like, the amount of different types of work he's done. Oh, his first directing credit is a co-directing credit, I'm pretty sure, and that is The Dark Crystal. Has anyone seen that? Oh my god, The Dark Crystal is the like darkest, spookiest movie ever. I think pretty sure it's on Netflix right now. I'd have to double check. It used to be, and then I'm pretty sure Netflix made a series of it recently that I actually have not watched. So if anyone can tell me if it's good in advance, let me know. But that was his first co-directing credit, which he did with Jim Henson, who was of course like the puppet master of the world. And him and Jim Henson had like a very great working relationship, from what I can understand. It worked on a lot of different projects together. Um, but yeah, so he has like a lot of experience in all these things: musicals, puppetry, spooky stuff, and it's like so clear that he was the perfect person to direct this movie. And then in terms of the cast, like I don't think the cast for this movie could be better, honestly. One thing that's interesting, Ellen Greene, who plays Audrey. I guess I should tell you the plot in case anyone didn't watch it. So basically, a florist finds his chance for success and romance with the help of a giant man-eating plant from outer space. So basically, we have this flower shop that is failing. We have this sort of nerdy dude named Seymour who works there. Audrey, who's this like very sort of almost like I don't want to say wannabe Marilyn Monroe, but this like blonde girl with this like high voice, and she's like wearing these like, cute little outfits. And she's just this very sweet girl. And then we have Mr. Mushnick, who owns the flower shop. And so we have these three characters. The flower shop is failing, but Seymour has been tinkering around with some exotic plants. And this one exotic plant that he gets, he names it Audrey too, because he's of course madly in love with Audrey. And it turns out that Audrey too is a pretty spectacular and peculiar plant, as they say in the movie. And it basically, to grow and survive, it needs to have blood. Oh no. So Seymour has to keep feeding it blood, and it grows and grows and gets bigger and bigger until the climax of the movie. And that's sort of like the general plot. A lot more happens. We'll get into it, but that's the general. So in terms of cast of this movie, just so good. Ellen Greene is actually the only, I think, I could be wrong, I think the only actress from the off-Broadway run that came along with the movie. I did see that they had looked into other actresses. They even looked into Cyndi Lauper, but she was like too busy because that was like the height of her music career. But they ended up keeping Ellen Greene, which I just love, because I feel like that very rarely happens when something goes from theater to movies. I feel like typically they just recast everyone. And it's very nice. And that happened also last week when we talked about Rocky Horror Picture Show. So much of the original cast stayed along for the movie, and the only people that were recast were Brad and Janet. And this movie, it's only one actress, so that's kind of a bummer. But it's still, the cast is so good, it's like you can't. I mean, it was all the right decisions. So first, the character of Seymour, we have Rick Moranis, who has been in like so many family, I don't want to say kids movie, but just like family movies. A lot of comedies. He was in Ghostbusters. He was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That whole entire series. He was in what's the other big thing I'm thinking of? He was in Spaceballs. So he was definitely the total perfect person to play Seymour. Like when you look at him, he looks like Seymour. He's supposed to be this like just very like dopey, nerdy dude with a big heart. Like that's just exactly this character. And then Mushnick, Mr. Mushnick, is played by Vincent. Hope I don't say this wrong. Gardenia. Maybe that might be right. I don't know as much of his work. Like I didn't really recognize him from other things, but he was in Moonstruck with Cher, so that's a big deal. I'm sure he's a great in many other things. And then we have Steve Martin. So this is so crazy to me that Steve Martin did this movie. So Audrey in the film has this bad boy boyfriend who is a jerk, who hits her, who is totally psychotic in every way. Um, wait, where's my chat? I'm trying to find my chat so I can see you guys. Okay. Um, oh my God. I'm sorry. I just pulled up the chat, and Travis, who is my boyfriend and sitting in the other room, um, says, "Know that bodega on Hancock and Evergreen? That's a real little shop of horrors." Everyone, that's Travis. That's my boyfriend. Oh, actually, here's a plug that Travis will be thrilled that I'm doing right now, or embarrassed. Not really sure which. But if you guys will go, I'm dead serious about this. You guys, pull out your phones. Um, Pull up the Isolation Wrestling Federation on Instagram. I am going to take a second and write it in here. Okay, so you guys will catch up with my delay, and then you'll know what I'm talking about in there. So go on there, and then go to the story, and click through until you get to the voting, and you're going to see this. Let me make sure you can see it. It's the promo battle. You're going to go to this screen and vote for Travis. And Travis is the one with the blonde hair. So make sure you vote for this guy. It's really close right now, so we want to make sure that he wins. This is basically, if you guys are into wrestling, you will love this, but they've created this thing called the Isolation Wrestling Federation, where people create characters, wrestling characters, and they just do promo battles. And it's wild. Travis is amazing. He's the charming Travie Lee. He is so funny, and all of them are really, really funny. There's some really, really great characters on here. So if any of you are wrestling fans at all, or even if you're not, go check it out. It's really funny. And a good time for these strange isolation days. Boom. Okay. Oh, good job. Okay, Danny already voted. Sarah's voting. You guys are the best. Batman, thank you. Okay, so I don't even know where I was because that was a tangent. That was a full tangent. Oh, I was in the cast. Okay, so Steve Martin did this movie. What? Okay, so one of the craziest characters in this movie, as I was talking about, Audrey's boyfriend. So he is a dentist, and basically his story is that he is a psychopath. As a child, he wanted to hurt animals. He wanted to cause pain. He's like this totally like psychotic guy. And so his mom said, when you grow up, you should be a dentist because dentists love to cause pain, and you can get paid for causing pain to others. And it's just this like hilarious concept. It's one of my favorite like weird things about the movie is this dentist character. But so he eventually is going to meet a horrifying end. But that's sort of that character. And Steve Martin plays him almost as this bad boy, like almost like a cross between Danny from Grease and like Elvis or something, but he's got like a motorcycle and a black leather jacket. Like it's just totally outrageous, and you can tell like he had the best time. It's also so funny because it's so opposite of anything Steve Martin ever plays, so it's very strange to like see him in this role, but it's truly amazing. And then, a couple of other people that have small scenes, but I just think is amazing that they're in this movie. John Candy, who's a comedy just legend and some of my favorite, also like favorite family childhood movies that I watched when I was younger. He did die in 1994, unfortunately, but he was also in Spaceballs. He was in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, etc. But he is in it for one scene. He plays this like kind of outrageous radio host. And then we have Bill Murray. Like this cast is wild. We have Bill Murray who plays also like ridiculous. He comes into the dentist office and it's just random character. Like it has nothing to do with the rest of the plot of the movie, but he's this random character that comes in and just is basically like sexually aroused by pain via dentist. So he's been going around to all these different dentists trying to find the one that will cause him the most pain, and he gets like sexual pleasure from it. And so he goes in, and then it's like this battle between him and Steve Martin, because Steve Martin's like, he wants to cause someone pain, but Bill Murray loves the pain. And it's this like long, ridiculous scene that I swear has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, but it's still amazing. Um, and those are sort of the main characters. And then another, like, I'll say like the chorus, if you will. I think they're called the Doo-Wop Girls. I'm pretty sure that's what their group name is in this. But we have these three women that are amazing. So they're called the Greek chorus. So basically they're sort of like leading us through the story. This is done in the stage musical and the movie. And their names are Crystal, Ronette, and Chiffon. And every scene they are in, they come on and sing in different matching outfits. They are totally fabulous. They sing, some of their singing is like my favorite, because it's this like amazing 3-part harmony, and they're just killing it. And even in one part, they come into the action of the movie for a bit and play just like people that live on Skid Row. But I just love every time they come into a sequence, they're just wearing these ridiculous sparkly outfits. And I do want to talk like for a second about the back or the landscape of the movie. So we have, it's set in Skid Row. So it's supposed to just be this sort of generic, rundown New York City neighborhood, somewhere downtown. Somewhere where people have to go home to, but nobody ever actually wants to go to. Like, people don't visit there, they just live there. It's supposed to just, Skid Row. It's classic terminology. And it's just, people are struggling. And I think there's something so wonderful about the contrast of that and our storytellers coming in these like fabulous sparkly outfits. There's like some really good contrast there that I found really enjoyable. And in general, the entire like aesthetic of the movie is basically sort of this like fantastical, I don't want to say cartoon-ish land, but like it's clearly all built on a soundstage. Like, they didn't want it to feel too realistic. It almost feels like Gotham and the Tim Burton Batman. It's supposed to just be like this like idea of a place versus like the actual place. And I think that works really, really well in this movie, because we have such heightened characters that just you can't imagine existing. Like, just think about Audrey's voice. Like, Audrey's, like, the voice she uses is like very high, like sweet little voice that's everything's fine. And it's like, it almost is like a Muppet character or something like that. Like, they all sort of are. And so I think it really works that they have this like particular kind of background or backdrop. Angela said, Travis, you should stream Photobomb. He might. You never know. He's literally just in the next room. You guys are so sweet for voting for him, too. I really appreciate it. Okay. Okay. All right, great. So next, I want to talk about I feel like the puppetry, honestly, like, I don't know a ton of the behind-the-scenes stuff about, but it is, like, all like, the puppetry that you see is people in the puppets. Actually, Jim Henson's son was one of the puppeteers on Audrey 2, which I think is really cool. And there is, like, some CGI stuff that happens, particularly in the alternate ending of this film, which I can't wait to talk about later on. But when we have Audrey 2 like start to grow and all those things were done practically, and it is so magical. Like, everything about that Audrey 2 is so incredible. It's like, it's hard to say like what my favorite things about this movie are, but definitely just the puppeteering aspect of it, I think, is like, it's magical, but it's also like it's got this like nostalgic quality to it where you're just like, I feel like people don't really make movies like this anymore. And it feels just so good and warm and exciting. This whole movie has this sort of like warmth to it. Like even though it's like about a blood sucking plant that's like trying to eat people and take over the world, and it's like takes place on Skid Row, and it's this like horrible place to live, and there's like domestic abuse, like there's all these like really heavy themes in it. There's still like this great warmth to the movie that I think is so great. And also in terms of there's a warmth also to the characters of Seymour and Audrey, because they both are just people that have like these really big hearts and want to have better lives for themselves because they are living pretty awful lives.
Thanks for the plug.
Do you want to say hi? Here, this is the stream. Here he is, the charming Travie Lee himself.
Thank you to all the charming maniacs out there. Your votes are appreciated.
And then Toby, too. Come here. Come here, Toby. Come here. Everyone's got to say hi. Look how we've been quarantined so long, Travis has to come on the live streams now. Yeah, hello. Hello. Meow.
I'll see you all later when I win the international title.
My little family. So sweet. So sweet, so cute. Oh my god, yesterday, guys, okay. So you know how Toby is the sweetest dog on the planet, literally ever? So, recently, well, okay, like a few months ago, Toby had to go to the vet to get, like, tartar removed off his teeth. And it was just awful. And they were like, you need to be brushing your dog's teeth. And I'm like, I'm trying. And so I like bought this, like, I bought like multiple different kinds of dog toothpaste, multiple kinds of like toothbrush things for dogs. And he is just not having it. Like, he is truly the sweetest dog ever. But if you get near him with a toothbrush and anything on it, he will snap at you and he will growl, which is so unlike him. Like, it honestly blows my mind. It makes me sad because I can't believe he's so upset because he's never acted like that about anything ever. But the teeth brushing, he just will not do it. Oh no, my sound is out of sync. Ugh. I'm not sure what to do about it. If I knew how to fix anything, I would love to. Okay. But, so anyways, we're having a little disaster with Toby's teeth because I know there's plaque building up on there. I don't know. If anyone has any tips for brushing your dog's teeth, just let me know on here, on Twitter, whatever, because that is the struggle of my house right now. Just crazy. Okay. Where were we again? I love these little tangents we've gone on today. And you know what's so funny? I feel like with these horror musicals, I mean, I kind of stopped using a script for Horror Movie Club a while ago because I don't know why. Probably because I got lazy, which is awful. But for these, I feel like I could just like freaking talk because I'm so obsessed with them. But I really do love this movie. So what was I talking about? I was talking about Seymour and Audrey having big hearts. And the warmth of this movie, things like that. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the plot beat by beat, but I do want to go through the songs a little bit, just because it's a musical. And then at the end, we're definitely going to have to talk about our favorite songs, or the ones that get stuck in your head the most. So obviously the opening, we have Little Shop of Horrors, we have Skid Row, we have the songs that are sort of setting the scene of what we're about to see, we're setting the scene of like the kind of place that we're in, things like that. And then we have sort of, you know, more plot-based songs like Grow For Me, which is Seymour really trying to get this plant, Audrey to grow. And because Mr. Mushnick basically says he's going to close down the flower shop because they have no business. This business is on Skid Row. Nobody's buying flowers. They need an attraction, right? And so Seymour, thanks to Audrey, brings up this plant, Audrey too, puts it in the window, and immediately, like tons of people rush in. Like it's just like slapstick comedic. Like this guy's like, look at that interesting plant. Look at that interesting plant. And they all rush in and they make the most money they've ever made. And then that's the moment where Audrey too starts like, you know, as plants do, get sad. They start, flopping over. They need to be fed. They need to be watered. And so he hasn't been able to figure out, obviously, what Audrey 2 wants. And then we quickly find out that it's blood. So that's sort of that. And then the next big song we have is Audrey's Big Number, which comes pretty early on. But this is Somewhere That's Green. And I love how they translated this into film so much. This song is just about Audrey. She lives in this apartment on Skid Row. She, works at the flower shop during the day, this like skeevy bar at night. She has this boyfriend that hits her and controls her. And she has this dream for this better life for herself, which is, in the song she says, out of Better Homes and Garden magazine. But she's looking for that like white picket fence Betty Crocker lifestyle. She's looking for a yard, and she's like looking for like the American dream, right? What like not everyone, but like sort of this like almost a very 50s idea of what like the perfect life is. And it's this image of like making a cake and having your girlfriends over and buying Tupperware, and your husband's mowing the lawn, and your kids are watching your black and white television, and it's just like this, very beautiful, shiny thing. And she has that like want for herself, and I just love how they film it in this, because it's so like plastic, like everything about the house and the yard, the grass doesn't look real, like everything they like show you in her fantasy seems so silly and so fake, but it's what she wants, and it's this life she wants, and it like because of that it's like very beautiful. And then let's see, some fun now I think is more of a plot mover along. And then we have Dentist, which I think is one of the most fun songs of the thing. And this is when we get to learn about Oren, aka Steve Martin, who is a dentist, and how he became that way. Really, really fun. I think even if you haven't seen the movie, just listening to the song, you can really get like the comedic aspects of it. It's just great. Next we have Feed Me. So I didn't even mention this, but Audrey 2 is voiced by Levi Stubbs. And he was like a musical artist. Let me see. I kind of forget. Oh, it doesn't really say on here. Let me see if I can find. There was like a famous band he was in, I'm pretty sure. Okay. American baritone, best known as the lead vocalist of R&B group The Four Tops, who released a variety of Motown hit records during the 60s and 70s. And his voice is so perfect for this. Like, it's just this, like, deep, like, feed me. Like, it's this deep, amazing voice that I think is just, like, it just makes Audrey 2 so perfect having this. I just freaking love it. Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry. I see you guys in the chat are talking about the alternate ending. I tweeted it out today. It was only like an hour and a half ago, so I was kind of late to it. But I tweeted it out on, yeah. I wonder if I can, I'll try to put it in the chat, like towards the end of this video, or just go to my Twitter. Okay. Sarah, there's more. That's what I'll say to you. It totally changes everything about the film. It's totally different. Okay. It's very exciting, but I am going to talk about it because I have to. Okay. So, blah, blah. We have Feed Me with Audrey 2. Then we have this moment, Suddenly Seymour, which is like, I would say, like the heart of the show. It's the song between Seymour and Audrey where she's sort of like seeing him as this amazing person for the first time, and he's seeing himself as this amazing person for the first time. It's like they both like understand, it's sort of them falling in love, but they really like finally understand each other. Seymour like has always had a very low self-esteem throughout his life. He was like an orphan, and then he was taken in by Mr. Mushnick, and he's just been sweeping floors ever since. And he has a very low opinion of himself. And this moment in the show where he's like, oh, like, I've done something great. I can do great things. I am more than I thought I was. And for Audrey as well, suddenly Seymour, for her, is like, oh, I can have more than I thought I could. Like, I thought the best I was ever going to get was this dentist who hits me. But actually, I could be with this amazing guy that treats me well and loves me. It's like, right. It's like that Perks of Being a Wallflower quote. We accept the love we think we deserve, which is one of my favorite quotes of all time, because I'm cheesy like that. Okay. After that, we have Supper Time. Then the next big song I want to talk about is Mean Green Mother from Outer Space. This is a song that was actually added for the movie. This is not in the musical. And I think that's interesting because, and I haven't seen the musical in many, many years, but I don't remember them talking about the fact that the plant is from outer space. Like, I don't remember that being a part of it. I think it's just the plant just exists. Like, we don't have to know why. If anyone's seen the musical recently and knows different, please let me know. But this song was definitely added for the movie. And it's Audrey 2 and the Pods. So basically, throughout the movie, of course, Audrey is getting bigger and bigger, outgrowing her pots, and just, exploding out. And then in this moment, we see that Audrey 2 can reproduce and have little Audrey 2s. And it's Mean Green Mother from Outer Space. So it's like, I'm from outer space, and also I can reproduce, and I can probably take over the world. And then the ending that you guys probably all watched for today is that they explode Audrey 2, and into a sparkly big electric fire situation. And then Seymour and Audrey get to go live their life in the nice little somewhere that's greenhouse with a picket fence. And right outside, we see the growth of a tiny Audrey 2 with a little smile. So there's sort of like ominous thing, like, oh, something might come, but for now, everyone's happy. That's how I thought this movie ended until today, when I saw the alternate ending, which was just freaking crazy. So basically, I won't give too much away because it's pretty spectacular to watch. It's actually some like kind of amazing like mix of practical and CGI, but it's basically that Audrey 2 not only survives but takes over the world and reproduces Audrey 2s that basically take over every town in America. And it's this like just mass, like, oh my god, it's so huge. And I don't want to give the stuff that's away. I don't want to give it away because it's just so great. But the entire alternate ending is so in depth and so long and seems so expensive, and I think far superior to the ending that we are used to. And so I can't believe. I think someone up above. Oof, who said it? I don't know if I can find it right now. Somebody said that test audiences voted that they didn't like that ending. They wanted a happier ending, I guess. And so they, cut the world ending one and then added the sweet little, like, somewhere that's green ending. But that is so crazy to me because this, like, world destruction one is, like, I love the way it, like, opens up the world in this way where it's, like, instead of just being on Skid Row, it, like, takes it to this huge other level, which I think really, like, I don't know. I think it makes the film just so much better and more exciting. But that's not the ending they use, which is such a bummer. The alternate ending is also, like, the director's cut version. So it's the ending, like, I guess that Frank Oz wanted, which is nice to know, I guess. But you guys you have to watch it. I'm actually just gonna, not that I want you to click away, but I will go ahead and put it in the chat for you because I just think it's great. I think it's great. Oh, this is like so random, but just as I pull this up, I will tell you, I got a new Instagram account. It's Girly Gore Horror. And so the same as my Twitter handle. and I'm really loving it. It's so this is like so weird because I thought about making a new Instagram just for girly gore spooky stuff for a while, but I was just always like I don't need any more Instagram accounts. Like that seems crazy to me. Oh, this is playing. I'm so sorry. Be quiet. um, there I put it in the chat. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, Instagram. Yeah. Anyways, but I made it because basically my normal Instagram is like, you know, people from my everyday life, people from my band, like all these things, and I always feel like I'm like spamming them with horror movies on like my story and all this stuff, and I feel like I can't freely express myself without annoying people. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this new girly gore Instagram that's just for spooky stuff. And so I can post as many pictures of like my freaking laptop screen as I want and know like people are only following it if they want to see that stuff. So it's like not a big deal versus like them following because they're my friend and they feel like they have to. So that's what's happening. That's what this is. But anyways, Danny asked, does the 60s musical end the same way as the theatrical cut? So the 60s version is actually it's not a musical. It's just like a dark comedy movie. And honestly, I kind of forget how it ends. I haven't seen it in a while. I forget how it ends. Can't remember. I guess I'll have to go back and watch. And I am curious also, as Sarah says, a cartoon? What cartoon are you guys talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, but I would like to know what you're talking about. So if anyone wants to post a link of whatever you're talking about, let me know. Because I'm very curious. Okay, is there anything else I want to talk about? Alternate ending. Let's see. I feel like none of that's that interesting. Okay, so the puppets were designed by Lyle Conway. And hold on. There is something about the puppetry I want to tell you. What is it? Oh, okay. So this is something I don't really totally understand because I don't make films, so I don't really know. But there is something. So the way in which they were originally filming the plant, just talking normally with the puppeteering, apparently wasn't working. It didn't seem very realistic. And so what they started doing instead was they would film it at a hold on. They either filmed it at a slower speed or a faster speed. Yeah, so they filmed it at a slower speed, so they slowed everything down and then sped up the footage, and for some reason that made it look more realistic than them just talking at a normal pace with the other actors. I don't know why that worked, but apparently that's what did it, and that's what makes it so realistic. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. And something else fun, as I already said, it's all practical. There are no green screens. There's no like computer graphics in all of the Audrey 2 sequences in Mushnick's shop. It's just all puppetry, which is just amazing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's kind of all I have. I'll go on the good old trivia page, my favorite, to make sure I didn't miss anything. Bum, bum, bum. One thing that I thought was kind of funny, the dentist office was originally very, very grungy and like blood splattered and had this like really like dark, dingy look to it. But test audiences didn't like that, and so they cleaned it up and reshot all those scenes, which I think is like kind of funny because I think like I think it would have been really funny to me personally if like people were just going to this like blood splattered dentist office. Like I think that's very funny, but I understand. Um, oh, this is a little fun. So the Greek chorus, these three girls I talked about, um, their names once again, Ronette, Chiffon, and Crystal. They were all named after 50s and 60s girl like doo-wop groups that did exist. So the Ronettes, the Chiffons, and the Crystals. Those were all existing groups, and they were named after them. I'm pretty sure that's about it. Okay. So now is the time. So in the chat, I would love if you guys would put either your favorite song, this could be an and or, your favorite song or favorite like sequence of it in the chat. And I will go ahead and tell you mine. Also, hello, Jake. Happy you're here. Love whenever people come to Horror Movie Club. We have fun here. So my favorite song, I think my favorite song is, I think it's actually Somewhere That's Green. I just love the character of Audrey. I don't know. I love Somewhere That's Green. I love Dentist. That's like I think the funniest song. And then honestly, like the one that gets stuck in my head the most, I know I'm giving like three answers, is the opening like Little Shop of Horrors, like like that is like oh my god, like it's just so good. It's just so catchy. And then my favorite sequences, I love the shot. Okay, one of my favorite shots of the movie is in the dentist office where they give you the perspective from someone's mouth. I posted that on my Instagram today. I don't know if anyone saw it, but I'll show it to you now. Let's see if you can see it. It's like this thing where you can like see from someone's mouth Steve Martin. That's one of my favorite shots of the movie. I also love the moment where Seymour saves Audrey from Audrey 2, where he has to like open up Audrey 2's mouth and pull Audrey out. I think that's a really great sequence. Also when, oh my god, I just have so many, but also when we see Audrey 2 eat Mr. Mushnick and it just like swallows him up, like knowing all that's done practically and they just had to like send him down like some sort of chute inside Audrey 2. I just like, I just love all that. Let's see. Okay, I'm coming into the chat and see what you guys say. Oh, Danny said, I love this. Danny said, can you imagine the film we would have gotten if it wasn't for the test audiences? No, I'm just like, I wonder. Because even things like, I mean, I have no idea if they had a vision for this in which there would ever be, like, more blood and stuff. But I do, that's, like, one thing I kind of wish, like, because it's a pretty, risque movie, for sure. I think it's PG-13. Like, they obviously, like, they talk about, like, abuse and, like, there is some blood and they're killing people and he's, like, gonna chop someone up. Like, there's all these things, but you don't get to like see a lot. And I'm just like, oh, like I wonder like how much wilder and crazier this movie would have been if they had just like shown him chopping the dentist to pieces and things like that. I'm sure, I don't know if it would have done as commercially well as it did, but I still think like that's a movie I kind of want to see. So I don't know. I love a good contrast of like blood and stuff with like singing and glitz and glam. Like those contrasts to me are really fun. Which I think we'll see a bit more of in Sweeney Todd, but hey. Let's see. Okay, Ben says Bill Murray and Steve Martin scene was the best. Danny said suddenly Seymour. Yes, she said when we hear Audrey's real voice. Yes, when she like finally like lets out her belt and she's like not doing her like really high voice anymore. She just like lets it out, her like theatrical self out, and you're just like, damn, that was good. Ant Wish said Family Guy references. I didn't know there's any Family Guy references, so I'm very curious what you mean by that. Please let me know. Let's see. Jake said Mean Green Mother from Outer Space is a fantastic song. And the visuals of that scene. Definitely the visuals in that scene are pretty mind-blowing. Like, when all the, like, the tiny Audreys come to life, it's, like, freaking wild. Let's see. Anthropomantic Fiend said mean Green Monster or Dentist. Or the opening theme. Love. I love everyone loves the Bill Murray scene. Oh, hello, Ollie. Welcome. How you doing? Oh, man. You guys are funny. Let's see. Oh, hi, Robert. So you said favorite song is the opening song. Yes, it's just so freaking catchy. Antwish said, yeah, the downtown. Oh, the downtown. Da 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 da. Yeah, that song, so good. Yeah, does anyone though remember how the 60s version of the movie ended? Did anyone say it in the chat already and I missed it? I just can't remember. Penn says, can you confirm New York City still looks this grimy? Yes, I can. It still looks, depending on where you are, of course. I live in Brooklyn. Some streets are cleaned up, some are not. Just depends. But some places are still pretty close to that, I'll say. Batman says, any thoughts on the sci-fi horror for next month? Yes, a lot of people have been asking for sci-fi horror. So I do think we're going to do that. I think that's worth it. And it's going to be tough, though. I feel like we might need to narrow it down even more than that. Because I feel like it's just going to be, there's so many, like, categories of movies that would fit into sci-fi horror. I'm going to meditate on that a little bit and see if I can narrow it down a little bit. But we'll see. Okay, Danny's got the ending for us. Okay, great. Let's see, the 1960s film, Seymour is devoured after the other victims are revealed to pop out as Audrey Jr.'s flower blooms with him crying that he didn't mean it. Oh my god, I totally forgot that. Oh my god, that's so crazy. That's honestly hilarious. Oh man. And I also just love how many of you guys love the Bill Murray scene because it's the only scene he's in, but he like steals the whole show. It's great. Okay, yeah, let's think. Like, what else? Like, what more specifically? Because that's basically Little Shop of Horrors. We talked about it. It's great. I love it. We still have a few more minutes, so let me just try to think a little bit about how we can, like, get more specific about sci-fi horror movies. Like, do we want to do things like Aliens, or do we want to do things like more like technology based? Do we want to do things that are like, you know, like apocalyptic sci-fi? I just feel like there's so many types. Or do we want to do like sci-fi in terms of like monster movies? It's tough. And well, obviously we'll always get to these things, so it's not like if we choose one, we won't get to do the other. We'll eventually get to them. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just like scrolling through sci-fi movies trying to like decide. I mean, it could be fun to just like focus more on aliens. Oh my god, wait, why did all these chats come at once? Okay. So first of all, Danny says, I hate sci-fi, so hope you can change my mind. Okay, that is exactly what Horror Club is about, just so you know. Because even me, like, sci-fi horror that's not what I typically reach for. But that means, like, it's even more of an incentive to do a month of it. So it's like, okay, let me like really explore these movies that I think I don't like. Like that was me with like zombie movies forever. Like I was always like, ugh, I just don't care about zombie movies. And then I sort of like checked out like the really good ones, and then I realized like like how good they could be, and I was just like writing them off. Ben just says outer space horror. I like that. I think that could be fun. Oh, sorry, I missed this. Jacob here said thoughts on Greg Berlanti doing a reboot. Chris Evans, I actually don't really know anything about the reboot, to be totally honest with you. Let me look it up. Let me see. Let me see. All right, we got digitalspy.com. Let me see what you got to tell me. Yep. So as you said, Chris Evans as the dentist, I guess. Oh my god, that's wild. Okay. This is Scarlett Johansson and talks to play Audrey. Billy Porter to play Audrey too, which I would love that. Interesting. I don't know. We just have to see what they do. I don't know. I'm always down for people to do a remake of something. Specifically, like, this is from '86. I feel like it's okay. It's okay to go ahead and do a remake. I just hope they don't make it a total bore, which I feel like happens sometimes. But we'll see. Let's see. Batman says Earth-based, planet-based, human condition-based. Ben says robot horror. That could be interesting. Let's see. Mark says a Vincent Price month. I would actually love to do that at some point. I'll add that idea to the list. That's a great idea. Anthropomantic says to mix it up, maybe do 1 week that's alien, 1 week that's mad scientist. That's a good idea. Natural disasters. Okay. I like the idea of technology gone wrong. Horror is fun. Maybe that could even go in with like robot horror. Oh, hello, 93 J Bro. What's up? Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Okay, that's actually so fun. If we did an Outer Space month, and that's what we started with, ooh, I think that's kind of a great idea. Good job, you just showing up here and throwing down some great ideas. Oh, good, we have some more people for Vincent Price too. But I think let's go ahead and say that's gonna be like next month or the next. Okay. Okay, I'm really thinking. I'm thinking outer space horror might be the way to go. Um, I think that could be really really fun for us. I love the idea of starting with killer clowns. I think that's so much freaking fun. I went to oh, I went to Universal Horror Nights this year with Lauren. There's like a vlog about that, but they had a haunted house as killer clowns themed, and it was freaking awesome. It was one of the best ones. It was so. First of all, they had like all the legit masks and everything that just looked so good. They had so much cool stuff in that. I would, yeah. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna necessarily call it outer space horror. Um, Let me look into that a little bit, but I think that's a great idea. Ben says, "Is it movies that take place in outer space?" I think I think where the outer space is like an important part of the movie. I don't know. Um, like either aliens coming to Earth or it takes place in outer space. Probably. Is probably what I would say. Okay, cool. I never want to say goodbye. I didn't even drink my White Claw. I've been talking so much. Okay, well, I will say next week we're talking about Repo the Genetic Opera. I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi. I might be wrong. I know the other ones from them are on Tubi, Devil's Carnival and all that. Um, but I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi. But that one you should probably be able to find like somewhere streaming for free, I would assume. So that will be really, really fun to talk about. Um, I love the aesthetic of Repo. I think it's so exciting. Danny said, "Does Men in Black count?" Because that guy in the first one is creepy. Yeah, the guy that is like eating all the sugar. Is that what he's doing, or is it salt? I think it's like sugar. It's like mixing it with water and stuff, and he like can't get enough of it, and he's like explodes. Yeah, it's pretty good. I do love Men in Black. Okay, guys. I think that's about it. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Really, this brings so much light into my life. Obviously, particularly during like, these like weird times. But to have a group of people that I can get on and talk about this stuff with, and have a great time with, it truly brings me so much joy. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Ollie, like even late, it doesn't matter. Like come whenever you can. I don't care. I'm just happy that I have a group of friends on here that are into the same stuff as I am. So I will see you all soon. And I guess that's it. Have a nice screen. And cheers. Cheers. Bye.